there are some games that you play them at first and you don't like them very much, but later on you play them again for some reason and you get a better understanding of the game. With me, that was the case with Valkyria Profile 2 Silmeria, a game with unique combat, unusual exploration, and a strange difficulty curve, but we will get there. We will start with the story, but I don't remember the details. The story is a bit complex with Valkyries and something. Well, Odin is doing bad stuff and you don't like it, so you go there to hit him. More or less, that's the thing. But the interesting thing about the story isn't the story itself, but the premise. Basically, your main character has a Valkyria inside her body, Silmeria, and they change personalities from time to time. And you also find souls across the game that join you in battle. So that's the thing, your main character has many personalities inside her. Well, only one is shown in cutscenes and story, but that's the main thing about the game. But the great thing about Valkyrie Profile 2 is the combat and exploration, and we are starting with the combat, which is a mix of turn-based and real-time. When combat starts, you enter a battlefield, and enemies only move when you do. You also have to get close to attack them, and each enemy also have their range, so you have to get close while evading their range so they don't attack you. And to help with that, you have a dash mechanic. Another important thing are the action points, which limit your ability to attack and dash. The way combat works is that each character is assigned to each face button of the controller, so if you press cross, the character assigned to cross will attack. And maybe you are thinking, well, I'll just expand the buttons and everyone is going to attack at once, but that's not possible. Well, it's possible depending your build, but it's not recommended. The main reason being that you consume action points, so you can just expand and continue attacking. Another reason is that maybe one of your characters sends an enemy flying upwards and the second character is attacking the air because the enemy isn't there anymore, so you have to think a little bit what are you actually doing. Another reason, well, when you are attacking an enemy, you are feeling one bar to make a special attack, and if with that special attack you feel the bar again, you can continue doing special attacks, and this is something very useful and something that you will need to do. Something else about the combat is that you can break enemy parts, and this is useful for three things. One, you might disable some of their attacks. A second one, you get some materials, and the third one, you can enter a break mode, which allows you to spam the buttons because you don't consume action points for some seconds. There are also the spells and the items, which consume action points. The thing is, they enter a cooldown, so you can just abuse items or spells. And then there is the exploration, which isn't in 3D or isometric camera. It's basically a 2D platformer. Aside from jumping, you also have a magic spell that freezes the enemies, and if you throw that spell to a frozen enemy, you swap positions with them. And that's basically the base for the platforming and the puzzles. Some dungeons later in the game can be pretty tough, but thankfully we have a pretty good map, so you won't get lost that much. Across the game you encounter souls, and in one place you are going to get one soul. It's a random chance between maybe other three, but if you don't know what to expect, it doesn't matter which one you get because you will get a balanced party anyway. You also get story party members, so you don't have to worry about the balance of your party. There are two important things about the souls. One, nobody is going to take them away, and I am not giving any more details. The second one is that when they reach a certain level, you can free them. When you free them, they give you some rewards, mostly items that buff the stats of the characters you actually want to use in combat. Another thing is that they become an NPC in the world, so if you find them and talk with them, they might give you another reward. So in my opinion, the best thing is to have one character of each class and free the rest. There are more things I could talk about, like the rune system, but it's very abstract and I don't get it. You can equip items to your characters, and each item has like a rune, and you can match runes, and with certain combinations you get certain abilities. Again, I don't get it. I didn't do much with them, but I still beat the game, so well. And the last mechanic would be the orbs, which basically put an effect on your party or the entire dungeon. For example, they can buff or debuff elemental damage, or make everyone deal more damage, or maybe the menu gets disabled but you get a bigger buff. For example, there is another that gives you more experience but you don't get any money from the battles, or the opposite, you get more money from the battles but you don't get experience. This is an essential part of the game and is not as complex as the runes, so you have to make use of them. And now we can talk about the difficulty, which is a bit strange. If I have to present the difficulty curve in a graph, it will be something like this. So the game starts very hard, maybe because you don't know how to play properly, then get it easy, then hard, then easy again, then there is a boss where you get stuck, then it goes easy again, until the final boss where you might also get stuck. I don't know, it's a bit disaster. The thing is that I said that I didn't use the rune system properly, so maybe that has something to do with it, but I don't think it's the case, because for example I got stuck in one boss that I am not going to show, and I have to go to a dungeon to get more levels, and I finally beat her, but barely. I almost didn't beat her, and the game got easy again. So were the levels the problem, or what's happening? I don't really get it. But the game pushes you forward, so well, I guess it's not that bad. Another thing to talk about is the cheese, because there are some strange strategies. I don't think that developers intended those. For example, there were many instances where it was better for me that the party was dead than alive. It was better for me to have only one party member in combat. Why? Because when you are in a group, your hitbox is larger, so you get more exposed to some enemy attacks. It is true that you can separate the group, but it's not as easy as it sounds, because when you are moving one part of the group, the other one gets exposed. Maybe the enemies go to attack them, so it might be even worse for you. For example, there is this boss that I am showing right now, where it was easier for me to circle around him and attack him from time to time. Yes, this was pretty slow, but he didn't even touch me. I don't think the cheese can be considered a good point, but I personally don't care. I kind of like it. It's like I discovered some strategies for the boss, so well. And to finish, we have the music, which it was stuck in my head when I was playing, but when I finished the game, it sort of disappeared from my head. Making the video again, I am remembering the tracks, so well, take it as you will. And that's everything I wanted to say about Valkyria Profile 2 Silmeria, a game which difficulty curve is not very well implemented, but it's a memorable experience. There are 3 Valkyria Profile games, one in the original PlayStation, this one, and another one in the DS, and suddenly the franchise vanished. Well, maybe I am not being completely honest. There is a 4th game on Android. Yeah, I don't think I have to say anymore. And that's it for me. Until the next time.